Welcome to News Now Alberta. This is Special Ed. Today we are looking at a man who was assaulted by a cop for having a seizure.
So a cop decides to strike a human being, because they were having a seizure. Here it is. Put up full mass. So sad. A cop punches a man for allegedly not complying, but the man was having a seizure at the moment. A lawsuit is alleging a North Carolina trooper not only dragged, but punched a disabled man after a crash caused by a seizure. North Carolina law is forbidding the release of these videos to the public. It took court hearings over a span of nearly a year before the charges against the man were finally completely dismissed. Atlanta Black Star reports on the details, infuriated that a man suffered an epileptic seizure, was not complying with his orders as he convulsed in the driver's seat of his car. A North Carolina state trooper decided to punch the man in the face and then dragged him by his ankles across rocks and gravel before handcuffing and arresting him on false charges.
Now, it doesn't take much to notice that a guy is having a seizure. As you'll hear, even the driver of the car that this guy sideswiped told the cop that he thinks this guy's having a seizure.
North Carolina Highway Patrol Sergeant Ashley Smith then transported Thomas Simmons to the hospital before filing charges of assault on a government official, reckless driving, resisting arrest, delaying and obstructing an officer against the 46-year-old Native American and former mental health specialist for the North Department of Adult Corrections.
So the cop beats up this guy, pulls him across pavement, then charges the guy with assault.
The accident, May 25th, 2024, as Simmons was working as a driver for Walmart making delivery. He suffered a seizure. He lost consciousness. He lost control of his vehicle, the claim states. 2008 Mercury Sable he was driving was sideswiped by a Mercedes-Benz before crashing into a concrete pole, causing the pole to topple over. Willie Smith, the driver of the Mercedes that had been sideswiped, told Trooper Smith, no relation, that Simmons appeared to have suffered a seizure. He even could call it, okay? Trooper Smith ordered him out of the car, but when Simmons would not comply, he busted out the passenger side window with his baton. The events following the accident were captured on police body and dash cam, but North Carolina law forbids the release of the videos to the public. That's a different conversation that we have had on this show.
So this guy was on a power trip to start with, giving orders, busting out windows. Like, did he try the door? Did it open? Was it locked? And then this law about not releasing body cam video, what kind of transparency is that? That is public records.
The lawsuit states, but after punching and dragging Simmons on the ground, leaving the man bleeding from multiple places on his body, Smith tried to justify his actions by telling the Greenville cops arriving on the scene that Simmons was, quote, on meth, end quote, without a shred of evidence that meth was involved. On Tuesday, September 23rd, Simmons filed a lawsuit against Smith, accusing the cop of violating his Fourth Amendment rights through excessive force, unreasonable seizure, lying about his probable cause claim to arrest Simmons, as well as battery and violating the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is meant to protect people with disabilities instead of abusing and arresting them on false charges.
Now, he should win this lawsuit just with the Disabilities Act itself, because that's a big violation. The other stuff, they'll explain it away with, oh, he wasn't, he was resisting or whatever crap.
Quote, the camera footage is not publicly available due to North Carolina law, said attorney Jalen Denise Miller in a text message to Atlanta Black Star, who was representing Simmons on behalf of Emancipate NC, a North Carolina civil rights organization dedicated to criminal justice reform. Quote, we cannot share it with the media per a court order, end quote. After transporting Simmons to a hospital, the trooper continued to accuse him of being high on methamphetamine, but Simmons told him he had suffered an epileptic seizure.
And this cop tried everything when he brought the defendant to the hospital. He told the staff there, the doctors, to do a blood test, but because he didn't have a warrant, they refused. In his report, the cop said that the medical staff told him that the guy was impaired. And after asking for his medical records a month later, noticed that he wasn't.
Despite his accusations, Smith did not charge Simmons with any drug related offenses, falsely accused him of assaulting a police officer, which is common, a common charge used against those they abuse in order to justify the abuse. Quote, in the months following the incident, plaintiff was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression, the claim states. Okay, so it is ironic that the individual who was involved in the accident said, yeah, I think the guy had a seizure. And the trooper, who is supposed to be trained on not only various elements of law enforcement and understanding what a crime looks like, but also understanding what a mental health condition looks like too. They're trained on both. He decides to not even consider the commentary or the proclamation from the person involved in the accident and treated this human being subhuman. In addition to that, he then lies to the city police who responded. The city police, they have no reason to believe that the cop is going to lie to them about meth. They're just pulling up. So the cop utilizes his trust equity that he has with the police in order to make a victim of this man with another police jurisdiction again. That should be a crime in itself. Hell, if you lie to the city police, they'll get you with obstruction, easy. So why isn't the cop charged for lying to the police and also the violence against the victim?
So I couldn't find any evidence that the cop was charged with anything or disciplined for anything because, he was doing his job, beating somebody up. And I don't think that the lawsuit is settled yet because I couldn't find anything about the settlement. What do you think of this? What do you think this cop deserved? Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.